In the previous video, we had studied about the laws of refraction, and by the second law of refraction, we know that the refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1 is equal to the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction. And in terms of refractive indices, it is equal to n2 by n1. And in terms of speed, it is the velocity or speed in medium 1 to the speed in medium 2. And we have also studied that the speed is equal to frequency into wavelength, and for any given pair of media, frequency remains unchanged and wavelength changes. Therefore, in terms of wavelength, it is wavelength in medium 1 to wavelength in medium 2. Also, we can note that for any given pair of angles, there is some definite value of a refractive index except when angle I is equal to angle R and it is equal to 0 degree. That is when incident ray falls normally on the interface. So here we can write that for any given pair of angles, refractive index has a definite value except when angle I is equal to angle R equal to 0 degree, that is when incident ray falls normally on the interface. Now we can see that when by this equation refractive index of a medium is equal to sine 0 degree by sine 0 degree. Sine 0 is 0, 0 by 0 is indeterminate form. So value of refractive index is not known when angle of incidence falls normally. Now here let's see why this angle of refraction is equal to 0 degree when incident ray falls normally. Consider these two equations, and when we cross multiply it, we get V2 sin I equal to V1 sin R. Here we know that when light passes from one medium to another medium, it has different speeds in different mediums. So here there is some speeds, there is some value of speeds in different medium. Here sin I is equal to 0 degree and sin 0 is 0. V2 into 0 is equal to V1 has some speed into sin R, which is equal to 0. Now here, as the incident ray falls normally on the interface and in medium 1 it has some speed, therefore V1 is not equal to 0, therefore sin R has to be 0. This implies that angle R is equal to 0 degree. Now also note that the original form of law of refraction, that is second law of refraction, is written as refractive index mu or n into sine of angle of incidence or sine of angle of refraction is equal to a constant. Therefore, if there are two mediums, then we can write mu1 sine I1 is equal to mu2 sine I2. If rays traveling from rarer medium to a denser medium and the rarer medium is air, then the refractive index of a rarer medium is 1.003. So here we are taking it as 1 into angle of incidence is sine I, mu2 is any medium, and sine I2 is here angle of refraction. Therefore, refractive index of second medium is equal to sin I by sin R. This shows that this formula is valid when one of the medium is air. In the equation, mu is equal to sine I by sine R. Angle I is not always the angle of incidence. Yes, angle I is not always the angle of incidence, but angle I is the angle made by the light ray in air medium. That is, if the ray of light is traveling from denser to rarer medium, then actually the ray of light making an angle with the normal is angle of incidence. But if one medium is air and another is a denser medium, then when the ray of light refracts and enters into air medium, then it bends away from the normal, and this angle with the normal is known as angle of incidence, and this is angle of refraction. Actually, it is angle of refraction, but when we are taking one medium as a air, then we denote this as angle I. Here, the light is traveling from denser to rarer medium. Now let's consider some examples of single refraction with the help of a ray diagrams. First case is when the object is placed in a denser medium and an observer see it from the rarer medium. Let the object is placed at this position, so the ray of light which is traveling or falls normally on the interface will remain undeviated and go straight, and the ray which is incident through an angle will deviate or refract by some angle. So this is normal, and the ray of light will bend away from the normal. Now as this is the rarer medium, or this medium is air, so this angle is angle of incidence and this is angle of refraction. Now if the observer see the object from the rarer medium, then this object will appear at point I instead of O. This is an apparent point or a virtual point. So let us suppose this height is x, or the actual depth. Now let's calculate the apparent depth of an object. Let's consider this as point A and this is point B. Angle of incidence, angle of refraction. Now as this is angle of incidence, so this angle is also angle of incidence. This is angle of refraction, so this angle is also angle of refraction. Interior opposite angles. Now here let's consider, in order to calculate this AI, let's consider these two triangles, triangle ABI and triangle ABO. Now here we can consider that this triangle AIB from triangle AIB, angle I, as this angle is very small, therefore we can consider sine I approximately equal to tan I. And therefore tan I is equal to AB by AI, that is perpendicular by base. Give it equation number 1. And similarly from triangle AOB, Similarly, as this refraction angle is also small, therefore it can be considered as approximately equal to 10r. Therefore, sin r is approximately equal to 10r, and it is equal to AB by OA. Give it equation number 2, and from equation mu is equivalent to sin I by sin r. Therefore, on dividing 1 by 2 and substitute here the value of sin I and sin r, we get AB by AI into AB by OA. So we get OA, which is equal to x, and AI we need to calculate. So here AI is equal to x by mu. That is, AI is mu times less than the actual depth. Actual depth is x and AI is the apparent depth. So here we can write that AI is the apparent depth denoted by d apparent, and it is equal to d actual by mu. That is, apparent depth is mu times less than the actual depth. For example, if we will place any object in a denser medium, like for example, take a coin, and if we will place a coin in a vessel which is filled with water, and when we will see that coin from air or a rarer medium, then the position of the coin appears at I instead of O. That is, the actual depth is decreases, or it appears as the shorter distance than its actual distance. Now let's consider another case in which when the ray of light is traveling from rarer to denser medium, and when we will see it from denser medium, then what will be the position of the object? Consider that the object is placed at this position. So the light ray which is falling normally will remain undeviated or will remain unchanged, but the ray which is traveling with some angle will incident on the interface and then deviate. This is air medium and this is a denser medium. Then the ray will bend towards the normal, and when the object is seen from the denser medium, then the object will appear at this position. So the real depth is x and the apparent depth is more. This is position A. So here AI, that is apparent depth, is equal to mu times, mu is the refractive index of a medium, so it is mu times of x. No need to derive it, or we can write it as that if it is the actual depth h, and therefore the apparent depth will be h apparent, and it is equal to h apparent is mu times of actual height. Also here we can note that the real depth is less than the apparent depth in this case when the medium is seen from denser to rarer and the object is placed in a rarer medium. So here we can write that the apparent depth is greater than actual depth, And in the previous case, it was, in the first case, apparent depth is less than actual depth. In case first, we have studied that apparent depth is equal to actual depth upon refractive index of a medium, or this gives refractive index equal to actual depth upon apparent depth. Also, here we can calculate the normal shift or the position of the normal shift when the object is placed in a denser medium and when that object is seen from a rarer medium. Then, as we have studied, it will bend away from the normal, and when it is produced backward, we get angle of incidence and a virtual image. This is the actual distance or depth. So here, what is the normal shift? Normal shift of the object is given as OI. OI is equal to AO minus AI. Or here we can write AO 1 minus AI by AO. Here AI is apparent depth, AO is actual depth. So we can write 1 minus apparent upon actual. Or we know that actual depth upon apparent depth is a refractive index. So it can be written as 1 minus 1 upon n. Or here AO is equal to the actual depth, which is here x. So OI is equal to AO, that is the actual depth of a medium. Or if it is a glass slab, then AO is equal to the thickness of a slab. So we can write OI is equal to thickness of a slab 1 minus 1 by n, where n is the refractive index of a medium. Thus, if there are three immiscible liquids, that is, the liquids which cannot mix with each other, and they are placed one after another, having depth d1, d2 and d3, and refractive indices are mu1, mu2 and mu3, where refractive index of medium 3 is greater than refractive index of 2 and 2 is greater than refractive index of medium 1. That is, if it is a denser medium, then it will be more denser, and it is the third one will be most denser medium. So what will be the apparent depth when we will see these three liquids from the top of the first medium? So it is equal to the sum of all the depths, that is d apparent is equal to actual depth, that is d1 by mu1 plus d2 by mu2 and so on. Now let's consider the double refraction of light ray, or the refraction of light when passes through a glass slab. Consider a glass slab of thickness T. And when the ray of light passes from rarer to denser medium through two plane surfaces, then two times refraction occurs. So let's draw it. Normal and the angle with the normal is known as angle of incidence. Here let it be I1, incident ray, and bends towards the normal. Air medium, this is glass medium. This is angle of refraction R1. Again this ray will bend away from the normal when passes from glass to air medium. Exceed this incident ray up to this distance. So this perpendicular distance between incident ray and this ray, this ray is known as emergent ray, or this angle is known as emergent angle. Let us denote it by I2. And this perpendicular distance between emergent ray and incident ray is known as lateral shift or lateral displacement. Now here this angle is also known as angle of incidence equal to R1. This is also R1. Now angle of refractive index of glass with respect to air is equal to sin I1 by sin R1. Also, refractive index of air with respect to glass can be written as sin R1 by sin I2. Now by principle of reversibility, we have studied that the refractive index of glass with respect to air is equal to 1 by refractive index of air with respect to glass. Therefore, this implies that we can substitute sin I1 by sin R1 is equal to 1 upon sin R1 into sin I2. Here we can see that sin I1 is equal to sin I2. This implies that I1 is equal to I2. This shows that the angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. Also here we can note that if there are number of mediums are present and the boundaries of each medium is parallel to each other, then always angle of incidence is parallel or equal to angle of emergence. That is, whenever the ray is passing from number of media, then if boundaries are parallel, then always I1 is equal to, let the number of plates are here 10, so I1 is equal to I10. That is, if the ray is passing through the parallel boundaries and these are 10 in number, then the ray of light will refract towards the normal, then incident, then refract towards the normal, and so on. And after that At last, this angle is equal to this angle. Let it be I1 and I10. But if these are not parallel to each other, then this formula is directly not applicable. Now next, calculate the value of lateral displacement or the perpendicular distance between incident ray and emergent ray. That is, let us denote it by small d. This is normal, n1, n1 dash, n2, n2 dash. This is point O. This is A, B. Now let us consider triangle OAB, and here this angle is the remaining angle, that is I1 minus R1. So here it is, this angle is I1 minus R1. So on considering triangle OAB, which is a right angle triangle, from triangle OAB, sine of I1 minus R1 is equal to, here it is perpendicular and by hypotenuse, that is AB by OA. AB is equal to D, so we can directly write D by OA. Therefore, this D is equal to OA into sine I1 minus R1. Now here we can calculate this value OA. So let's consider triangle ON1 dash A. From triangle N1 dash OA, we can calculate the value of R1, that is cos R1 is equal to, here, base by hypotenuse, that is ON1 dash by OA. ON1 dash is equal to the thickness of a glass slab, that is, we can write T by OA. Therefore, OA is equal to T by cos R1. Give it equation number 2, and this is equation number 1. Substitute value of OA in equation first. We get D is equal to T by cos R1 into sine of I1 minus R1. Now, when the value of lateral displacement or shift will be maximum? When cos R1 is equal to 1, that is when R1 is 0 degree or cos 0 is equal to 1, that is, we can write that lateral displacement is maximum when R1 is equal to 0. Therefore, cos 0 degree is equal to 1, and therefore sine I1 minus R1, here it is 0, and I1, when I1 is equal to 90 degree, that is, angle of incidence is a grazing angle. When it is making an angle of 90 degree with the normal, then displacement will be maximum sine 90 is 1, cos 0 degree here is 1. Therefore, the lateral displacement is maximum, which is equal to the thickness of a glass slab.